Both appreciate it.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to What's Tea Radio. I'm your host Rachel Spence, and I'm here with my co-host Ari P.
Hello, guys.
So, today, last week we talked a lot about love, being that it was Valentine's Day, and we talked about relationships and stuff like that.
Right.
So, continuing with this theme of love and relationships, we're going to talk about the negatives of relationships, which is cheating. So, as many people know, I know Ari heard because we discussed this before we started, about the Kardashians and Tristan Thompson and Kylie's best friend cheating with Tristan. So, for those of you who don't know the, situation, apparently Kylie's best friend Jordan, who lives with Kylie and
Kylie pretty much does a lot for her. She's Kylie's daughter's godmother. She's Kylie's best friend for a long period of time. They live together, and I'm pretty sure Kylie does a lot of other things for her. And just being part of the Jenner Kardashian family alone, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of money that went into helping her create her brand. And so I feel like in speaking on cheating, we're also going to delve into the family versus friend dynamic, because in a situation like this, it is pretty hard for her to kind of draw the line and figure out what to do, because on one end, Khloe is her family, but then on another scope, it's like this is her best friend forever, and to her that's kind of like family. They grew up with each other for a long period of time. So let's just dive into it and see where it goes. But I don't want to make it sound like Jordan was solely just known for Kylie, because if you guys aren't aware, I believe she's Will Smith's goddaughter, or niece
something
or
like
something like that. So she's related to the Smith clan as well.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people, that's the first thing they're going to try to do is discredit her. Yeah. They're going to try to make it seem like,
she was nothing before them.
Exactly. And she is nothing without them. And it's not to say she's nothing without them. Mm-hmm. I'm sure she's going to be losing out on a lot of opportunities.
She's already started.
Right.
Did you see?
Yeah.
Earlier?
There was a picture Ari sent me, and she had collab with Eyelure, which is an eyelash company. Mm-hmm. And they already put her eyelashes on sale. I mean, that could be coincidental that they did that, but at the same time, we really don't know if they're already trying to stop her bag.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I feel like people are gonna try to discredit her, try to make it seem like she's about to be nothing without them and her career is done. But I don't think her career is done. I think she definitely. You think her career is done?
No, I'm saying I disagree. I thought that her career is over.
Yeah, I don't think it's done. I think it's
just gonna it's
gonna be hard.
It's gonna decline. I feel like because of this scandal, her career and her brand as a whole will decline. And after the decline, I feel like, oftentimes when social media brings something to light, we often feed it a lot of energy. But as time progresses, we get caught up in the next scandal or the next situation that's brought to our attention. So I feel like after this major decline, because it's not so much so just even us, it's also, you got to think about it, the Kardashians who are behind it. They're known for stopping a few bags.
Right.
So, I feel like she will hit a decline, but after that decline, she'll be at a plateau for quite some time before she can, come back to where she was.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, so like you said before, we're definitely going to talk about the relationship with family and friends. So how do you think Kylie feels in this whole situation? Do you think that she's about to it's clip for Jordan? Do you think that she's going to try and hear her out? And how do you believe this situation? What is the authenticity to this?
I feel like there is truth behind it. I just don't know if it's to the extent that media is taking it.
Right.
Because there are celebrities who were there at the time of the occasion, and they have attested to the fact that they've seen them, cuddled up and in each other's space, and just even that's a violation.
Right.
But to the extent in which they took it as far as them hooking up, I feel as though that takes it to another level. And so none of us was there or were there, and we can't really speak on it because we only know the facts that the media is feeding us.
Exactly.
However, I feel like there's definitely truth behind it if, her celebrity friends are speaking out on it, because oftentimes it's just that person saying something.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Tristan does have a record.
Yeah.
For
because that's
out.
my thing too. I feel like Tristan's already like a cheater, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to like call anybody names, but he's already a cheater. So I mean, in that situation, it's like I already believe the fact that he cheated. We already know he cheated. He did it before. But with Kylie's best friend, like, and of course she has a role in this situation because it takes two. But it's like, who was putting down what first? Like, who started it all?
Down for somebody else to pick it up, basically.
Right.
But even still, in that, like, it's just like, it's but so much heat that Tristan can take because he already cheated before.
Mm-hmm.
And in Chloe accepting him back for the sake of whatever it would have been, whether it's their child or just, you know, being invested in love with him, in taking him back, it already enabled him to be able to do it again, knowing that when he did it the first time, there were no strict repercussions. But when you sit there and you take it to the level of a very close family friend who can basically be family, it takes it to a whole nother level. Because when I look on Instagram, I see that Chloe posted on Jordan's most recent picture, which was about 2-3 days ago, calling her beautiful. Like, she's always under Jordan's, you know, phone, encouraging her. And, you know, I just feel like it's just a very sticky situation because, like, as my cousin said on this live, like, Tristan is going to be tied to that family for life because of their child, for the sake of their child. But at the same extent, it's like, I feel like this situation, it's hard on Chloe, yes, but it's extremely difficult for Kylie.
Yeah. Because now she's in the middle.
Because she's in the middle of it. Not only is she in a battle between choosing family over friends, she's also in a battle with making the decision, okay, well, this is kind of like my sister. Like, we've been in stuff before and, you know, we've gotten through it, but now it's like my family's involved. And my daughter's involved too.
So what would you do in this situation? Because I feel like for me, I would pick my family.
Of course.
Because I don't know, family first always. But although like that's I don't know though, because I feel like there's friends that I've had that are like family at this point. So they would either have to like, you know, talk it out at some point, but like they are deemed untrustable and they will never be like good in the rest of my family's eyes. Like, my family will never, like, if one of my friends did something like that to my sister, my mom and dad will never like you again. Like, it doesn't even take something it doesn't even take something that serious for my parents to not like you ever again. Like, especially since my parents are Caribbean, I feel like you got to do one thing and then my parents are done with you. And once my parents don't like you, there's no coming back. But you do something like that, like you go out of your way to cross one of my other family members, it's over. So even if I forgive you, the rest of my family, I don't know if that's an option for them.
All right. So for me, I'm going to speak on two things. In this situation, like if I was Chloe, what I would do if I was Chloe, I would speak on it, talk to them about it. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's about time for her to really draw this line with Tristan. Let him know, you know, for the sake of our child, we have to be cool, calm, and copacetic. But outside of that, there's nothing. Like, I feel like she doesn't know how to reprimand him. And because of this, he feels like it's okay for him to, you know, carry on with these constant, repetitive actions, which isn't acceptable. But if you don't draw the line, then of course somebody's going to continue to do something. Because when you touch a pot and it's hot, you're not going to touch it again. But if you touch the pot and
you're
it's
bringing
cold,
it back to the standards.
Right. Like if you touch a pot and it's cold, you're going to feel, all right, well, the next time I see a pot, I can open it. But once you touch a hot pot, it's like, oh, I'm not going to touch that again. It's hot. That's not a good thing. If I continue to touch it, my hand's going to burn.
Right.
And so because he hasn't had that opportunity to get reprimanded, it's like, I could keep doing the same thing and not get in trouble. So I really feel like Chloe needs to sit down and let him know, you know what, it's over. All ties, all bets are off. Like, we're done. But for the sake of our child, we can be amicable and do things for her. Outside of that, I don't want to see you because you extremely crossed that line.
Right.
For Jordan, I feel like she needs to speak to her because she plays an influential role in her sister's life and her sister's daughter's life, seeing as though that's Kylie's daughter's godmother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Definitely.
Because now that's a, even though she's not blood, that's blood.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I feel like you're not just going to choose any and everybody to be the godmother of your child.
And you can't, like, ungodmother her. Like, you can't say, like, no, you're not her godmother anymore. Right. She's already been around for a long time since she was born. So it's like,
she's been through multiple
there's no taking it back. Exactly. Mm-hmm. She's been with the Kardashians since...
for forever.
Exactly.
She's been with them before Bruce was Caitlyn. That's a long time. Like, she's seen transitions within that family and she knows how they operate. So seeing as though we don't know the extent of the issue, we can't really judge. Mm-hmm. But on a different scope, it's just like...
And I feel like this shouldn't have a part 2 because I feel like Tristan should have been...
He should have been gone from
a long time ago. But you know, like, the older you are, the more complicated like the relationships are, the more you are willing to forgive. Because like with Khloe especially, she was about to have her first kid. Like, you don't want to... You don't want to like... Yeah.
Especially because it was something she anticipated for so long, seeing as though all her sisters had multiple kids. Her younger sisters having a kid before her. So I see why she took and she made those choices that she made. Because
exactly.
At her age, you know, it's like, if I'm stressed out, I can potentially lose something that I've been working and moving towards.
Exactly.
So for the sake of her child, she took it the first time. Mm-hmm. But then when it happened the second time, it's like, all right, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Right.
I shouldn't give you a chance to fool me again. But the fact that Tristan took that third chance to fool her, all bets are off. And I feel like he should not be in the picture unless it's for the sake of their daughter.
Exactly. And I feel like they could have, like, she could have forgiven him and, you know, went about co-parenting.
Right.
But to try to push for a relationship, I feel like, you know, she was thinking about her feelings in that situation, which isn't wrong, you know. Especially being pregnant, you're emotional, a lot is going on. You just want your family to all be together. So taking that chance and looking dumb in the public eye, like, she was willing to do that for the sake of like being a whole family.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't think she did anything to rectify the situation and make him understand, like, do this again and it's done. Like, do this again and I'm never talking to you again.
Yeah.
But, you know, now that's why I feel like even in this situation, the blame is more on Jordan because it's like, okay, we already know Tristan's a cheater.
Right.
Next, like, I feel like they're blaming her more, but they're both wrong. Like, they both did them dirty.
They're both to blame, but at the end of the day, because we already know Tristan is a cheater and he's done this before, it's no surprise. But what makes it so severe is the fact that it's with somebody that's basically family. Like, forget just being friends. They've been with each other since kids. And it's like, this is family. But like, as one of my viewers said, Tristan was foolish for mingling with another female, let alone Jordan, in front of other people, especially other people of high status, knowing the status of his wife.
Right.
Or
and the thing is, you're constantly in the public eye. Like, people forget, like, as a celebrity, like, there's no room for making mistakes.
Exactly.
So if you're constantly in the public eye and you do something like that, even if it's like that's not the truth, like, don't put yourself in a position to be judged. Like, don't put yourself in a position where like people could see you and be like, oh, you saw them together, and assume something else.
Right.
Like,
because even if it wasn't to the extent that media is bringing us to, at the end of the day, you were cozy with her.
Right.
And in being cozy and hugging,
and it's just a bad look overall.
Yeah, it just shows that you have no boundaries.
Yeah.
But at the same time, can we fully blame you if you've never been reprimanded? Because if we think about it, yes, Khloe did it for a good reason, for the sake of her child. But at the same instant, there should have been some kind of scolding mechanism and not just going about it lackadaisically. Like, you know, okay, well, I forgave him, so, you know, he'll see that and just, you know, decide not to do it again. And then he does it again, and you're just like, all right, well, I'm going to stop talking to him for some time, but then I'm going to take him back to show him.
Right.
Sometimes actions isn't enough. Sometimes you really have to put your foot down with your words, because, I mean, look where it's gotten us. Ow. Look where it's gotten us.
I just hit my arm on this thing.
But taking it out of you know their lens. If it was me in the situation, I feel like there's a lot of determining factors, because when asking family versus friends, it depends. Because there's some family members who you don't look at them as people of high value because they don't play that role.
Whether I like to believe it or not, yeah.
Right, like there's certain family members who you simply don't hold to a high pedestal because of their actions or just them in general, or lack thereof their actions. And then there's friends who do more for you than your family. They step up to that role.
And then there's family friends too, because I feel like friends of my family, right. Like my mom's close friends, like from only God knows when, how long ago, like
that's your family.
That's family to me.
Exactly.
And if somebody did something trifling, like I don't know how I would feel about it, because they're like family. So it's like, yes, it's not blood, but
that's
we might have to work something out because we're really family.
We gotta come to a middle ground, and we gotta come to, we gotta have a ponderosa, as right. Jackie would say on Basketball Wives, have a ponderosa and figure it out. Because that's my BFF, and you guys are putting that friend title and label on her. But if we took that away and we look at everything that we've been through since kids, because this wasn't just a teenage, oh my gosh, woo. No, they've been friends since kids, and she plays an active role in her life, as we see. It has to be some middle ground that people come to, or that they come to in general. So sometimes there's certain determining factors that just, weigh into the decision that you make or the middle ground that you make. So, yeah.
I mean, and it's interesting to me that the family, like, they haven't really said much about it yet. Like, I know they're smart and they have smart, people managing them.
Definitely.
And
Kris Jenner is somewhere,
right,
sitting down, sketching this out, planning it,
trying to find the best way to
color coding
to take her down. Like, they're not trying to do it in a way that's like petty through social media. I feel like they're gonna do it, and they're gonna do it right. So of course there's that element, but to me, like, if that was my family member and they were the ones experiencing this, all hell would have broke loose already.
Yeah, definitely, of course. I feel like Kylie took the first steps in telling Jordan to get out of the house.
Right. But wait, she told her that? How do you even see that?
They said it on social media.
My sis is homeless.
She's not
That's
not
crazy.
living with them. She's not living with Kylie anymore. So that's the first step, but it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process. It's definitely going to be a process for Kylie, because that's someone she holds near and dear to her heart.
And they were living together. So it's like, now your roommate's gone. Yeah. Like,
so now only roommate she has is Stormi or Travis whenever he gets home. Or like if she goes and visits, the other sisters, but they be on their own timing as well. So it just puts her between a rock and a hard place, and I hope she finds some kind of middle ground. But I definitely know that Kris Jenner is somewhere scheming and plotting on the low, and she's not trying to be malicious with it, and she's trying to, be behind the scenes, because Kylie hasn't said anything on Instagram. She hasn't posted about the situation.
Yeah, like she continued posting, but completely unrelated to the situation.
Right. The only people who've really spoken out on the issue is Kim Kardashian,
right,
and Khloe's friends. And then today, Khloe put up some Instagram stories.
She was subbing.
She was speaking through those things, man.
Going hard with the text posts.
Yep. She was, it may not have come from her, but that's how she was feeling. And sometimes that's what you got to do. Sometimes you have to post through other people, so that people don't twist your words and make a fool out of you, but they see how you're feeling.
Exactly. So if this, not thinking as if you were Kylie,
right,
as if you were Jordan,
right,
or Tristan, like the people involved in the situation, right, what would you do? Because to me, I wouldn't have even done that. I wouldn't have even been the person to be mixed in with the cheating. I'm not. That's not my character. But if I was, okay, bet. If I was the person, in the situation, I would have just moved out the country. Like, it would have been over, because one thing you don't do is mess with the Kardashians. I know that for a fact. They will they will find you. They will find like your great aunt, uncle from like a whole nother country and just take them down. Like, they're just, I don't know. Like, they got some superpowers. They're well connected.
Hold on one moment.